Hello and welcome back. I'm People Joe, and this is a new series for Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. We are doing an early start in British Siberia. Quick stats, really simple, no special rules on this one. We are on the British Isles DLC map, but I changed the climate to Siberia. I put everything below in the description for if you want to make your own map like this. There is a Steam thread that already talks about this. I was not able to make the workshop terrain editor work for this because it wouldn't let me play with the early DLC, but it seems like this is doing what I needed it to do, so this is where we are. It is obviously kind of an island challenge. I wanted something where I have a lot of water around, where I can use ships again because of all the things that we learned before. I wanted terrain that wasn't completely difficult, and Siberia just didn't work for me. And I wanted reasons to not use customs houses too much. There are resources on this map. I checked that they're here. I don't care where they are. I don't want to know where they are. We're going to figure that out once we have research done and have progressed as far. It is May 13th. 1930. Of course, this is the new early start DLC. By the way, giveaway. I have 6 keys to give away by the start of the game, which is May 22nd, I believe. I will release the winners a couple hours before the actual DLC, so you know if you have to buy it or not. But I will have 6 of those keys. We will figure out all the rules and things that you have to do. I will put a comment below the video so you actually can participate. It will be something like you have to give me an email so I can actually contact you. Super simple. But if you want to be take part in that giveaway, go ahead. It'll be fun. So here we are. It will not be completely vanilla. Why? I know I looked around a little bit, and for example, one of the big ones is a road crane. There are no vanilla road cranes currently available. They may be coming by the time you play the game, but I currently don't have them available, so there's a high chance that we will have some mods enabled, and I hope someone will update my collection to make sure that you have everything that you need. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I generally try to play in a way that I explain most of the things I do, especially in the 20, 30 first episodes. Playing an early start mostly slows us down. It will make it harder. Vehicles are slower, vehicles are smaller, capacities are different. They have fixed the customs houses pathing, so you should be able to see higher throughput on these guys, hopefully, maybe. But that's about it. We have a lot of small rinky-dinky vehicles, and one thing that I learned in Season X was traffic cannot be neglected. You have to make sure that your traffic kind of flows and does the things that you want it to do. So let's see what we can do that doesn't cause us too many issues. F2 to turn on the overlay. The British Isles are relatively flat, which is fine. They are raised at least, so we should be able to do some overpasses and underpasses in some areas. Hopefully that will all happen, but realistically, I don't want to be too far away from the border, but I would like the industries to stay close to the border so we can start exporting right away with certain things. I don't know what they are, and we do have extra roads or extra connections over here that we cannot neglect. So let's see what we can actually make happen here. The first order of business. This is our only border connection. If you played on the map before, you know that, but that's our only border connection, which means all the rare connections that we have here are all the rare connections that we're ever going to get in the game, which means we cannot overload them, which also means we may use some shunting around here. But I want to make sure that we don't lose these connections or like build them in a stupid way, which I often do. So let's plan something before we do something stupid. As you can see, most things are locked, which is excellent, which is wonderful. That's exactly what we want. But we're going to start with some wooden rail plan. Nothing's going to get built yet, obviously, but let's pull out of the border area right now, so down the road we have a little bit of an easier time to figure out what we actually want to do here. There are 3 connections right here. This is just to prepare us for later, and that's really it. Now we do have the NATO side connection as well. Again, I don't want to neglect anything, so we're going to have to see what we're going to do here. This is not going to be the way that this is all going to get built. this is certainly a way that will allow us to later on not forget that this is something that I meant to wanted to have to do. So here we are. Do I want an actual track here? No, I don't think I want a track here. I think we just want to stay with one way on and one way off, and then this is just a very long single track. If you are unfamiliar with train traffic and signaling and all those things, don't fret. I will get you out of there. we will get things figured out. Just not today, because yeah, rail is important, but we have to plan other things first. Let's just pretend that we planned this. It's not going to get built for a while, so no worries there. First city, definitely here. We are in Siberia. High consideration has to go towards heating. You need to be very close to your source of heating, which means the large heating plants are not necessarily the best option for you. Smaller heating plants may serve you better, but they have a limit on how much population you can actually handle. So there are things different than we normally do. That's why we also start May 13th. Actually, May 10th is the first day that all the snow melted. So we only have a short window of time to grow crops and grow other things, which I think will be an early start staple in terms of industries that we can handle. For right now, how about we build a very simple... Can I make this a little better? Yes, I can make it a little better. I'm holding left control to make the turn a little different, but honestly, it didn't make a difference at all, which is okay. But I will probably plan on making this a bridge at some point, so I'm just going to pull it far enough away from where we are currently and then just continue into the area of what will be our city. Let's just say this one. Not even going to mess with terraforming anything else here. It's relatively flat. This should work and get us where we want to be. Gives us enough room here for train traffic, however that needs to look. And for right now, let's just make a very simple cut over to the other customs house, and we're done. There's a third track here. Are we going to use that? Maybe at some point. I don't know. I haven't fully decided yet, but this gives us a starting location. We also have a little bit of power sitting here, and as you can see, everything is locked. Research matters more. I have not played through a whole early DLC. I was too busy with Season X, but we have a limit on the wires that we can throw in here. Historically, I know that I should use the biggest wire I possibly can to do anything in this area, so that's what I'm going to do. But I don't know where exactly I'm going to put this yet. I'm most likely going to run it next to the rail, potentially, which could cause trouble down the road with actually replacing the rail, if that becomes a thing, but this should be fine for right now. Are you wasting too much space over here? No, and if you need to rebuild this at some point, you can. Again, we will have a bridge over here, hopefully relatively soon, or never, or at some point. What are you on about? Maybe it's a tunnel. Maybe you throw a tunnel in here to get to the border. I don't know what it is, but right now we should be okay with the pieces that we have set up right there. Okay. What should you build first? The biggest bottleneck in the game, besides resources, is workers. Workers. They will slow you down so much all the time that your best bet is probably just starting with construction things to get your things moving. And in all honesty, the best place to put your construction buildings is near the source of things. Currently, the source of things is one of these two customs houses. We're not going to use the NATO one right now, but one of these two will definitely be our source. And I'm going to guess this one right here. Maybe we can keep construction on this road and everything else goes to the other customs house. They're about the same distance away, so maybe that's okay. I'm going to remove this road right now so I can actually build out a couple things. When you want to build your own construction, which is part of the realistic mode, what settings do I have, if you may be wondering? Everything is on and everything is maxed out. It's just the realistic settings with 1930 start, and then lock start according to year means that they will be available anytime after that year has passed. And that's what I like to play with. Cool. Let's get a couple things set up here. Construction. We need sources of materials. We need everything that we may want, and it is very important that you don't rely on just the customs house to do all your transportation. You should use some of the free storages to stockpile some materials for a little while, and then later on you can replace them with more realistic, more usable pieces. But open storages, yes, we have no limit on these. Let's get started with, well, these to get a couple things going. There's a little pocket here, which is why I removed the road there, because I didn't know how exactly I'm going to split things up. But these storages should allow us to transport all the materials that we want, and I will actually keep them separated even by a road, so that vehicles that want one don't have to go through the other road right now. And maybe that will make a little more sense just in a minute. Yeah, let's leave them alone for right now. So this is just there, so we stockpile a couple items from the customs house, and then we can pick them up with other trucks while the customs house is not blocked, but for other reasons, because there are things that we can only get from the customs house, like asphalt and concrete in the beginning, or we build our own buildings for that, but I don't think we need that quite today. Okay, other things that we should store. I mean, there's a warehouse, but the warehouse does not have a free thing that we can connect to, and honestly we only need some electronic components and mechanical components in construction, so this is probably gonna be, well, not that necessary. I'm gonna turn off the mods for right now, because I don't want to see all that stuff. Okay, so some storage, great, super simple. Do you want some gravel storage? Honestly, the gravel storage that you can build for free is so slow at loading. It is important, but maybe I'll wait until we can actually build a small aggregate storage, any of these, whichever one is cheaper. This one looks like, no, that's 15 tons of steel. This one costs 15 tons of steel. That's cheaper. Yes, there are some other ones out here. What's this one? Oh, cool, for rail. We don't have rail yet. So yeah, I may just wait for that and then build the asphalt plant and the concrete plant a little further up the road. And hopefully that gets us the connections that we need. So honestly, the road that I had earlier was okay. Let's place some connections to all of this. That looks fine. That looks fine. That looks fine. And I'm building this right now because it's important that you fill these up while you plan your city. Otherwise, what are you going to do? You also have to turn these roads into gravel roads at some point. So, yeah, you got to figure out a couple things while we're in the area. Construction. In the beginning, you can get 7 of these. There's absolutely no reason why you can't just max out the 7 that are available here, and this is what I'm going to do. Let's pull out a little bit of road here, maybe a little bit of almost equivalent road there. And then we're just going to build some construction offices here, but maybe I'll split them out just am I going to split them out more? No, honestly, I think this is okay, because all of these can only hold 7, no, not 7, but 4 vehicles. So there's not that much traffic coming from here. And honestly, I only expect all of this to be, well, construction based, and all the other traffic will go to the other customs house. Hopefully, maybe, probably. I will put a gas station over here because the customs trucks probably use most of the fuel in the beginning and keep them close to their home. Hopefully that keeps them filled up relatively nicely. And all right, let's do the last thing, which is a free distribution office, not a road depot, not a technical service office. Underneath general cargo, there's a distribution office free. That's the important one. This one you need to start loading up those places. We can get 5 of these. 5 is an excellent number, actually. Let's put 1 here and then 2 here just to get started. Filling up all of these places. If I can get this one connected to that road node, that may help upgrading all these roads down the road. Cool. Well, we have a starting point. Now we're going to spend a little bit of money. While you're spending money, you want to run speed forward. So, the first distribution item vehicle that you need will be a fuel tank. So let's find that one. Why a fuel tank? And look at these. The Rissobolt and the Ammo 15. Beautiful. Are there any good ones on the other side? No. I'm clicking on this. Oh, there's no connection to that custom cells. Just curious if we can spend our money reasonably. Maybe there's a good reason to go to that side, but no. Currently at this point, before the 22nd, before it's released, there are no NATO vehicles for early start. Just in case you were curious. So now we know. Great. Back to oil tanks. So we need one of these. 31 kilometers per hour versus 42. 42 is better. The dirt road only has a speed limit of 35. So both of them are close, but this one will get a little speed boost if we upgrade this to gravel road, which we absolutely should. So that one's good. And then capacity, this one is 5 tons and this one is 1.5 tons. So this one is much worse because 3 trips, a little more than 3 trips of this one, or 1 trip of this one. This one is slower, but in the end, you're still going to get there. That's fine. And that's going to show up somewhere in the customs house, and we'll make it the way out here. And that's our first vehicle to do a thing. Cost us 3,000 ruble. Beautiful. I don't see a personal driver yet. Maybe that's something that needs to be added, but cool. Look at that animation. Beautiful. Dust particles everywhere. It's the first early DLC vehicle that I actually purchased, so maybe that's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing. Tell them what you want to do. I would like you to load stuff from here and bring it over here. The fuel station, since you have a 5-ton capacity, maybe we have to mess with this a little bit. Yeah, keep this about... let's say 60% full. That should give it 12 tons of fuel, which hopefully, well, does the things that we need it to do. That's the first one. Great. You are relieved. The next one that we need is some flatbed trucks that we can actually transport stuff in here. We have 3 available, or 3 spots available, so we may as well use them. Open hulls. Yes, what do we have? 31. That's the same truck with 5-ton capacity. This is the same other truck with 1.5 tons capacity, and this one is just for wood, which may be an industry that we really have to invest in. But for right now, let's max out those guys. And same thing over here. Open hull, max out these guys. They could have different colors, but honestly doesn't matter. Now we're just going to tell these open storages what they actually have to be. And this is just something I started doing. If you name things, you may get confused less. So what is the main stuff that you need when you play an early start? Honestly, I don't know yet, because all of this is brand new, but let's just assume that this is bricks. So let's set bricks to 100%. This is steel. Steel is always important, so I'm kind of willing to bet that that will stay important. The next one may be boards. Probably not prefab panels. Probably not prefab panels, because prefab stuff is something way down the road. What am I doing here? I'm just control clicking. It tells you in the window, and opens it with everything set to 0. So do that and do some prefabs. I do believe I can purchase prefabs. I'm not sure that I need them yet. Let's look at any of our buildings. No prefabs. No prefabs. Lots of bricks, some steel, some boards. So maybe this one needs to turn into double bricks. But then the other part of that is we can't do double bricks. We can only give this construction office one source. So that's just the way it is. So let's call this one boards and this one prefab, but we're not even going to worry about bringing any of this stuff in, because I wouldn't be surprised if even our food and shopping, yeah, it's pretty much locked down. Steel, boards, so yeah, everything is early start oriented, which is great. Cool. Let's tell our friends what to do. I want you to pick up from here and bring stuff here. It actually has to be the other way around. Unload. What's this? Bricks. Unload there. It is selecting both of those. Honestly, that's not the end of the world. And I did say I didn't want to do prefab yet. And just add this one too. We'll see if they can figure out what I want them to do. Go to like 70% full, and then we'll just copy the same task to the other building, and they can figure out what they have to do. Great. The first night is coming. We don't have any power yet, so that's super good news. I will leave these, should you actually leave them empty or should you start graveling some roads? We could start graveling some roads. So let's look at the first vehicles that we have for that. Graveling roads early can only help you speed up down the road because mud roads, when it rains, are slower. Generally are slower and just not a good place to be, although all the vehicles that we have are super slow right now. So those are just things. Here's one that has an excavator and bulldozer feature. That's actually cool because bulldozer is faster at building road and excavators used pretty much everywhere else. So having one of these should help. Dumpers, same truck. All right, 3 of you, I suppose, is what we're going to go with. And then source-wise, you can get steel there, bricks there, boards here, and prefab there, and all the rest can come from here. And that can get us started. And then I'm just going to go... if you're new, you probably don't know this, but I have my hotkeys up here. There are a couple different ones, but I really only use this one. I just hit 2 to do my dirt road and get that one upgraded, just like so. When you have roads that you want to build, nodes are your enemy. Try to get rid of them, and you can get rid of them by simply going to this connect 2 pieces. Click, that node disappears. It just turns into a single construction instead of multiple constructions, which is... very good for everyone. Looks like this vehicle cannot be transported by anyone though. Interesting, but let them refuel and do the thing that they want to do. You're doing great, guys. Okay. City planning. Okay, let's get moving. We're 20 minutes in, that's fine. City planning. I mentioned Siberia. The problem with Siberia is a lot of heat. A lot of cold, which means a lot of heat. The thing with a lot of heat is you can't just... I'm seeing something that I don't like. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. I'll get back to the heat thing, but I don't like these two anymore, the way they're currently oriented. We're just going to do this. This one will get connected back into the road when we can. I don't like that it's so close to the city. One of the things that I learned in Season X was traffic has to be... Maybe it's fine. Maybe it's fine. We'll put it a little further away. How about that? Sure. Traffic needs to be managed healthily, and this is going to be a main road that we want to connect to. And we want to be able to get there from whatever city we have here. Eventually, we're going to have big cities and a lot of things going on. That's great. But for right now, we obviously don't have that, which also means should I get a roundabout going relatively soon. We don't have asphalt roads. We don't have one-way roads. We don't have any of that stuff for quite some time. So I think asphalt roads are really not something that anyone here should focus on. So here's just what we're going to do for right now. Gravel road that can get built. Yep, that looks good. And then we're just going to connect into what will be our city down here. Are you considering... That turn is a little sharper than I want, but that's fine. Are we considering the driving distance that we have with the vehicles that we have that can no longer drive very fast and need a lot longer to do all the things that they want to do? The answer to that is kind of. I'm trying to think about that, but I don't know how much further I have to get away to do anything at this stage. So let's just see how things play out here. Let's build the first city with the buildings that we have available. Things that you need. This is a little lame. No extra bus platform, but these are all too big. I think this one is, even this one is too big. But I rather want to go a little bigger than smaller, and this fits better into the theme than the white bus stations. So this is what we're going to take. I don't know why there's a duck in the background, but that is fine. Bus station is your heart of your city, effectively, because everyone that can reach a bus station can then reach any other utility building that's in range of it, which helps. I don't think we're going to build that big, but we should consider it. The next thing that I will build is a little surprising, maybe, a heating plant. The small heating plant over here can handle 30 gigajoules and has a hot water tank of 200 cubic meters, where the regular one has 450 cubic meters, and the large heating plant for early start has a hot water tank of 700 cubic meters. Okay, it's smaller, but not that much smaller. It produces less pollution. This one produces almost no pollution and almost a full pollution. The clouds actually mean something. The full cloud technically translates to about 250 meters distance per cloud. So 2 clouds is 500, 4 clouds is 1,000 meters, which if you look at the large heating plant, we're almost at 1,000 meters for distance. That's how far you want to get away. So as long as I'm about 300 meters away from places that we care about, plus have the heating plant in walking range of the city, maybe this is the better place to go. I'm going to start with this. Also has some nice connections here that I may be able to use. This road cannot stay the way that it is. It needs a diversion. It needs a way for vehicles to actually get past here and not block each other, but this is the first town. This will just have to be rebuilt, probably a little bit to the south side of this, and then we can figure that out, and we'll be fine. Okay, so we have heating, very important, and we have our bus platform. Great. What are the other things that we need? Pretty much everything else. What building sizes do we have? 36, 48. 48 is a good one. What is happiness in this one? Quality of flats, 80%. Actually, that's very, very good. We cannot do that one building. That's fine. 50, 60 is not that much bigger. 85 happiness. 85 quality of flats is what I'm really looking at. It is very important that you keep that one relatively high. It keeps your base happiness much higher, and that should be good. I like that all of these are at least 80, because 80 is a really good number to start with. But let's look at the price. 6.4 tons of steel for this one and 51 tons of bricks. That's 10 trips. That is 10 trucks bringing in bricks versus 33 tons of bricks and 4.5 tons of steel. Look at this one again. 6.4 tons, yeah. I would say this brick house has a little bit less happiness, but a much better feasibility for our city, and that's what we're going to start with here, just to figure that out. How many people do you have to start with? Normally I say 1,000. I think we should get to about 1,000, even with the small heating plant that we have here. And once we expand a little bit, maybe we'll just put another heating plant to the side of the city to heat the rest of us. Maybe that's going to be good enough. Yeah, let's just go with that. And we're just going to concentrate our residential buildings right here. And we should be able to put 100, 200, 300, at least in this spot. So put our utilities on the northern side, on the northern edge of what we have going on. Yeah, that should be fine. Grocery store and restaurant. Since I don't sell everything, I'm not even going to bother building them right now. When people get to a building, they try to fulfill all the needs that they have at that point. If that building doesn't have it, they have to try to get to another building. And if there's a line, if it's out of range, other things go on. They may start wasting their time by walking more, and you don't necessarily want that. So keep all that in mind, please. Small shopping center, 20 and 100. Okay. 20 and 100, 20 and 100, 30 and 180, 12 and 84. I am tempted to build this one, but let's look what the price is. 4.1 tons of steel, 4.2 tons of steel, couple more work days, a little less gravel. I think we're gonna go with this one. It's just slightly different. I don't know necessarily that it fits better into our theme or anything like that, but it should be okay. We have so many small vehicles. The thing that I need to understand, and everyone that watches, is you will have so much more traffic because you're using small vehicles. Keep that in mind when you build the rest. So I'm actually going to separate the grocery store. I'm going to put it in walking range of our bus station, 100%. It will even get some heat from down there, but I will give it a secondary connection to what will be our main road at some point. So our delivery vehicles can go out here and our buses can go out here, and hopefully they'd only interfere on the main road and not on the peripheral roads. This building only has a warehouse for 12 tons of stuff and 1 ton of meat. That's not great. Not great at all. Especially knowing that... Oh, meat truck. Well, you can park a meat truck here, but you know how long it will take for a meat truck to get back to this building? I don't. I really don't, so I gotta figure that out. But I feel that it will just be beneficial to us if we add a couple storages. These are all humongous storages. Huh. Yeah, this is all humongous stuff. Why? This is too big. I want this one. Modern industry. I want the warehouse that's half the size. Why is this one not locked? This is also too big. 9.4 tons of steel versus 2.5 tons of steel. Yeah, okay. I don't like the sizes. I don't like the options there, but I guess I have to take what I'm going to take here. So this warehouse, I'm pretty sure cannot handle food. No, it handles just about everything else. Interesting. So, if this is the warehouse that we're going to build, there is a decision that we should make somewhere along the line of, do we want to put our first industry very close to here? And I'm pulling it out a little further just so I can maybe enable that. We'll see if I like this. This will need some asphalt, which is a little weird, but like weird as an early start. Do we really have asphalt available? But it may be okay. This guy's almost done with what it's supposed to do. That's great. But our first industry generally is always something crop-based. And in this case, I think our first industry is going to be fabrics and clothes, as usual. That's the easiest one to get to. The problem here is I was actually thinking that if we go this route, because transportation is so hard and because crops are the main input here, this one should be right next to a farm. The farm should farm. If I look at the map, okay, I don't think that we can't farm here. I think the farm may just have to get a little bridge and get to the other side and then start farming there, which is not ideal. But do we have a real other option? There's so much flat space right here. If you just put both of these to the other side of the situation, maybe that makes your whole life a little easier. That's what we're gonna do. This is why planning is so important in this game. You will never get it right the first time, but if you reasonably think about what you actually want, maybe there's a chance that you end up with something that you can still be happy with. And sometimes that's all that we really should care about. So let's go to this side, which also means this road is gonna run a different route. I'm gonna use my left shift and then drag to delete the whole thing, so I don't have to just piecemeal and piece click on every single thing. But that feels good. Okay, grocery store, come back right here. Same logic still. I don't want the road vehicles to interfere with each other just because they will create a lot of traffic. So this may be okay. Then get me my the warehouse that we had, and if we I'm trying to think ahead, maybe a little too much, but if we're thinking crops will be the thing that will mostly go into that, then clothes will obviously be available to the shop. Maybe I should plan on a bigger warehouse right away. You don't have to plan for grain here. Okay, grain can go in a grain storage. Yes, I like that. So you just need a normal warehouse here to handle your clothes, really, and all the other stuff that you normally get. So this one is probably a-okay. I do wonder if what I said earlier is even still accurate, and I don't like that sign is there, but if I click left control, it hides everything, and I'm trying to figure out that we have the connection that I wanted there. The main thing that we're trying to get out of this is a footpath connection to the industry that we may build on the other side here. So let's see if we can make that happen. We can also just have a shortcut road that goes all the way across here. That will totally work. Or we put the bus platform on the other side of the road that will also get us like 50 extra meters, which is totally worth it. You should totally do that. But the ratio for our clothing factories is a fabric factory can produce up to 5 tons of fabric. Wonderful. And it will turn that in, well, then we have clothing factories, which is effectively a fabric factory to 2 clothing factories because of the ratios. I don't think I explained that well, but I'm pretty sure you knew what I meant, which is all we can take right now. So let's say that this one would go here. Sure. You want to block the front factory connection already? Not really. So let's say this one goes here. And note the cloud. It's also only 250 meters, or less than 250 meters. And I've seen this in a couple reviews. Sorry, reviews are paused for the time being because hopefully you understand why. I've seen it, and it seemed to work. That these clothing factories just don't produce that much pollution that this is not really causing any issues. So I kind of want to jump on that bandwagon. Okay, so you can fit in here. Great. We can use this. We can use this, and this one will be too far away for a walking range, but the other two won't be. We can use this to potentially bring in some grain here if we wanted to, and then the rest can just go out to the farm area. And this one will cost me a little bit of money. And I say planning is important. I also said that humans, workers, are important, and they are. But I don't want to build a city. I don't want to plan a city that doesn't work for what I need it to do. So to avoid that, I'm just trying to plan. I know that the city is going to go here, but then I also need to figure out, I need to replenish my money. At some point, my money is going to go away, and when that happens, we will have a big problem. Would I like to have these industries look a little more early DLC? Yes, but that's not what we're getting today, so here's where we are, and that's what we're going to get. Let's add a couple roads, so I don't forget, because you know what's also important in any republic, doesn't matter how early you go, it is emergency vehicle coverage. That is mostly talking about fire protection. So make sure that is somewhere along the lines of what you can do, and yeah, you may be okay. Put that one here, put that one here. This is our main connection, really. Let's do this. Get that one there, get this one here, because the warehouse is the one where I want the trucks to go to. So we're going to put another road connection right here, and we could make this a little prettier. I honestly think so far, so good. I need to figure out if I want a roundabout. I don't think I want a roundabout, but maybe at some point that becomes a thing that I do want to do. But this feels okay. The next piece is more storage. I will stress this once, so I don't repeat myself, but I will repeat myself. I am building a lot of extra storage because our vehicles cannot transport anything. Trains, yes, trains can transport stuff, but building trains costs a ton of steel. How much does it cost to build this little piece of track? 10 tons of steel. How much does it cost to build this one? 20 tons of steel, 117 tons of gravel. Our small rinky-dinky rail construction cranes are going to take forever to build any rail network of any size whatsoever. We need to make money before they're ready. So I am trying to build stuff that doesn't require a lot of driving, and I may even, again, I talked about putting the bus platform on this side, so it's already in walking range of all or most of these. Factory connections we can't walk over, we can't walk through, but we do have bridges and things that may enable us to still utilize all of this the way that we need it to. But I think if I actually put the bus stop like right in front of the shopping center here, we may be in walking range of everything, and then we don't need any buses to move anyone to any industry, which would be great. We still need enough people to work all of this out, but the people are going to go on this side, and I feel pretty good about that too. Continuing. More storage, so we don't have to drive it more than absolutely necessary. And by that, I really just mean make sure that our... that was weird. Make sure that our trucks don't have to go out again and again to get all the connections in. So here's our grain storage. Cool. It has one-way road connections. Keep that in mind when you build this. Since this is the in, let's do this for now and this. we may want another road connection going down here just to bring in extra grain once we need to afford it, because we're not going to have farm grain for quite a while. I'm going to turn a lot of these constructions off in a minute. Actually, I can do it right there. That may make my life a little easier. Nope. I got bitten by that so many times before. Let's just leave that alone and hope that we can plan all the things. I will let the time continue because we have all these constructions over here that I would like some roads done because our imports also have to be happening at some point. So this is all okay. The last thing I suppose that I want is a farm. I highly doubt we need a large farm. Why are these not updated? It may be okay. If I put the farm all the way out here, I want to show you something. I heard this. I don't know that it's actually a thing, but I heard it. Excavator, no. Harvester, yes. We have a steam combine. Very small. Extra small. These are all workshop items, so these are not DLC items. So yes, they exist, but we may have to use people. We may have to use people for our farms. Oh, I was thinking about that actually a long time ago. We need to put our farm somewhere because the only thing we're going to do with the actual farm is the trucks that transport stuff from the farm, and then maybe do some fertilization potentially at some point, because I do think we have not excavators but tractors. Sowing is I think what they're under. Nope, no tractors and no no tractors and no combines, which means the farm building itself is pretty much useless. It will be useful later once we actually have vehicles there, but for right now they don't do anything. I'm surprised to not have any notifications sitting up here, honestly, but I guess I don't have any people, so that makes enough sense. But that just translates to everything in here will be from people, or will be produced by people. This one can stay here. I don't think that we're going to need it. This one can also stay here. Don't need it. But the grain that goes in there will probably be delivered by distribution offices. And to get one of these, we need research done. Distribution office, early start DLC. Yes, 10 spots and 5 spots. Building a couple of these and putting a couple of farm fields around the city may be all we need to do, especially if we can keep them in walking range. And they can walk across the highway. That's not really an issue. So this will be interesting. I thought about that before, that we probably need to use workers to handle the fields. We're just going to see how all of that plays out. But for right now, let's rebuild our bus platform. And I do want the large one. We may just plop you in here. Something like this. I want to give myself enough room in all directions to do what I want to do. Make the bus connection go there. What are you doing here? I think buses on this side are still our main concern. So the road connection here should really serve wherever the bus wants to go, which could be that way. It could also be this way. Okay, and then here can just be a natural continuation road for some buildings in that area, residential buildings mostly. And this one is, again, our emergency access for the for that clothing factory, which we cannot neglect. And somewhere in this area, we do need emergency services. Because guess what? Earthquakes are still a thing, too. They haven't gone away. Nobody removed them, so let's make sure that they don't bite us when time comes. What's the distance here? It's not telling me. I am making gravel paths. Don't bother with anything but gravel paths, but that's in walking range. Great. That's what I wanted to see. How about you go here, go here, go here. I'm pretty sure that that is in walking range, no problem. This one, however, I'm sure it's not going to be in walking range. 152 meters, 124. I'm going to shorten that just a little bit. And then have a walking path right here. What is your distance? Ooh. I'm excited about this because that means we don't need a bus. We just need everyone to be in range of this bus station, a walking station, which is perfect. Cool. Let's get those assigned. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to move those. I will add a couple more footpaths in other places, but that's not important right now. How's it going over here? You are doing a thing. Our trucks, where are trucks? You are picking up 5 tons, you're picking up 5 tons. They seem to be doing what they're supposed to do. I am tempted to add more of the same vehicles, just speed up things a little bit, but I don't know if you can tell. This excavator is not staying at... Why is it so slow? There's like no movement on this thing. I would like there to be some movement. We can probably speed it up with a couple of workers. So how about we get the only bus we have available. We want to do... Let's do this. To make the bus sit over here. Do we have any... There is a connection to the customs house. It's over there. But there were absolutely no vehicles on the on this side that are not... No road vehicles, at least. There's a steam crane, industrial, 22 speed. Looks cool. Probably super slow. Okay, that's what it is. Over here, do we have any used vehicles that we can use? I don't think that I want to use those yet. We also have to worry about waste. There's so much stuff to worry about. So this will be great. I'm not going to screw up anything at all. No, what could possibly happen? No workshop items for just a little bit. Blue looks like... Ooh, red. Yes, red. 1, 2, 3, 4. 14 passengers is actually pretty big, and I accidentally ordered one more than I wanted to. But that may be okay. Are you set up? Yes, you're set up. Let's just assign the same stuff to all of these guys. They currently have all of this kind of set up, but yeah, if we can get a couple extra workers out here, maybe we can speed up progress a little bit. Dumper. 1, 2, 3, and then an excavator, please. Just one of them, just to speed up what we have going on here. There's a lot to do, so we got to get moving. Great. More. Okay. What other buildings do you need? I like that I got distracted by all of this. Let's batch suspend construction. We don't need that right now. We don't need this. We don't need any of these buildings right now. And I know that the factories are important, but I don't need them done before the city is done. So let's turn all of this off for the time being, so they just build the things I actually care about. Most important is probably going to be this one. But if you look, we're already in August. Winter is coming. There's no way this heating plant is going to be done before 1931, maybe even 1932, and then we still have to build the rest of the city. So this is going to be a slow start. Early start, early DLC means slow start. That's simply what it translates to, so I hope that's okay with everyone. What do we have here? Another restaurant. Don't want a restaurant. Do we need a pub? More stuff to transport. I'm not opposed to it. I'm not opposed to getting a little bit of a boost in what we can produce. I don't know if I want to build one yet. Neither of them has a factory connection, so we need a truck to actually bring something in, which really potentially just translates to bring some booze over here, and then we have a truck just run to that building. That may be okay. So, okay, pub may come down the road. Beach, no. Cinema, yes. There's this one, 5 and 100, and 5 and 30. Sorry, there's not even a choice. Doesn't even matter how much more this one costs. A lot more bricks, actually. But we're just going to deal with that because we have to. Let's build these utilities closer to where the pollution is going to be. Because when people live here, they spend more time outside of pollution, which is good. Is all of this going to kill my city? I'm hoping that if I keep most of the residential buildings out there, we're going to be fine. But we will see. This may not be a very long season. That's very possible. But we're going to see. Then the next part is, once you have one attraction, which we have with a cinema, it's good to have more, just to be able to, like, the citizens don't like going to the same attraction over and over again. There's a cooldown period, and to afford that, we just need a couple other things. There's a stadium. Oh no, this is a mod. Don't want to do that. Indoor pool, sports hall, and other stuff. Indoor pool is still probably my favorite option here, and let's just make this show up in exactly the same place as the other attractions, so people can always just walk there whenever they feel like it. Cool. You can use these fields, any fields that you want. The problem is that they all have a temperature restriction, which pretty much makes them useless for Siberia. They're only going to be used a tiny fraction of the year, so we're not going to spend money on that right now, because this looks like a lot of money. It's not a lot of money. Even an early start, I don't think it's going to get us very far. Cool. Small clinic. 721. That sounds like a good one. This small clinic is worthless with 5 and 15. But 7 and 21 and 2 spots for vehicles, that's perfect. That's like the modded one. I like that they added that. 25 and 75. I don't think we need a clinic that big yet, or the hospital. So small clinic should take care of things. We already know that most of our residential buildings are going to be on this side, so we may as well plop it close to where the residential buildings are. That should be okay. Now we go down the list. Fire station. I believe these don't have heating requirements, which is great. What do we have here? 30, well, spots for vehicles. That's what I'm looking for. 2, because vehicles determine how many workers you can actually have. And then here we have 5. This will be a large city, and my vehicles I'm expecting to be relatively small, and I would like to be able to serve most of the stuff. I'm looking at this like I wanted to put a field here, like a farm field, but I don't know that that's actually going to happen. So I guess fire station can be right here, and it should have enough vehicles for us to actually be effective at whatever we need to do. That looks fine. You are currently out of gravel. I don't like seeing that. I hope someone is bringing you some gravel right now. Otherwise, we have to suspend the other construction. Are you trying to catch this one up? Is that what you're doing? Are you bringing... Where are you bringing workers to? You're bringing 14 workers to a different place, but you to get a little bit of gravel. Yeah. Transportation is going to be a challenge. Maybe turns out I'm already too far away for everything. That's very possible. I don't know. But we'll just have to continue and find out. Okay, so we have those 2 done. Kindergarten, extremely important. Let's get one with a good size. I don't want to mess with small on this one. Plop it close to our other utilities over here. If you don't have a kindergarten, your parents cannot work if they have a small child. Once a small child is school-aged, they should be able to go out and do the thing that they're supposed to do. Kindergarten is also one of the only places that does not allow you to use the station, so it has to be in walking range. All the other buildings, you can do whatever you want, especially a school. Your kids can just use, school bus, and then they get there. Orphanage, I don't have high plans for that right now, specifically because it takes 15 workers. That's not bad. 15 workers for 60 visitors. It's not bad, but it requires more logistics to move all your materials in. And I'm seeing one thing that I completely forgot that I complained about earlier, which was meat. How am I going to solve meat? We have just a normal meat storage, which will fill up in absolutely no time. It's kind of ridiculous how fast this one will fill up. But if I want to use this, I have to move the shopping center, which is not the end of the world. What meat trucks do we have available? I think that's how I'm going to determine this, because I may put the meat storage a little closer to the road and then just have 2 trucks leapfrog for getting different materials out. Let's see. Refrigeration. Yes. 2.5 tons of meat. I already know the answer. This is not good. Also, this one is apparently stopped in 1923, so if you would have clicked lock according to year, then you wouldn't even have this one available. So that's interesting. Interesting choice. But yeah, if we only have 2.5 tons of meat coming in at a time, then... yeah, we should just have a local storage and probably even have 2 trucks. Potentially have 2 trucks work on this. Let's see how this works. So let's take all of this out. That looks fine. And just move things around a little bit so that our shopping center has a chance at everything that it requires. Which then means flipping you around like so. Yes, that is the factory connection I would like to use for this guy. Okay, let's see this. Does this one still connect? Yes. It's a little uglier than before, but I think it's okay. Get our meat storage in here like so. T to flip it around, and then RR if you want to turn exactly 90 degrees. Do you want it here, right next to the storage, or do you have a different place in mind for that? I think right here is probably appropriate. So that's what we're going to do. The road can still go exactly like it did before, and the footpath just makes a slight detour to what we had before. Now I just got to double check. Still in walking range, no issues, perfect, and we have our meat storage right here. Great. That is what we needed. Okay, moving on. How much more do we have to plan? Oh, all of the things, and the next episode may just have to be a building episode to get a couple things done down the road. We have choices for universities. Which university do we want first? Excellent question. We will philosopher about that next time, because I haven't decided yet. Residence halls, sure. Yep, they will cost a lot more stuff to actually make happen. And the police station. I really hope a small police station is going to be enough. We have one small advantage with what we're doing today, which is we're building really close to the industries. And the industries have crime too, every once in a while. And when they do, it's nice to have a police station right next door. So now we have a police station. We don't have to build that right away, but honestly, we have to build it pretty soon. Which then also means we need a court, which requires some workers. And that's a big court, honestly. The court can probably just go over here. More of the footpath-only buildings. Which are very important. And that road is done. That road is done tells me that we can start the next phase. The next phase is get all the footpaths done in the area. Okay, let's talk to you. Actually, I'm going to use my construction assignment tool, which is down here. You can assign the construction offices that you want, which in this case, I'm just going to put all of them in the same group, and then assign construction to what I want them to do. They all have a range of not up to here right now on purpose. So yeah, I'm just going to get them started on some footpaths because they will start making things work nicely, quickly. The other thing, now that that road is done, that I should also do because we have to get it started somewhere, is start this construction. And to figure out what I need for that, I just look at this up here. And we need concrete, gravel, asphalt. Concrete, gravel, asphalt. Then concrete, gravel, asphalt. Bricks, yep, boards, yep, and steel. So we don't have a concrete mixer yet. Another Rousseau, yep, that's the one. 1, 2. I'm gonna go with 4, just so we can actually get out of this. And then the next one, I would say, is just gonna be our open hulls. Open hull, yep. Steel, okay. Yeah, sadly, this one can only do wood. Back in the day, that was a bug where the logging trucks could also carry everything, so they had a bigger capacity, but that's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4. That will work. And then the next one is a covered hull, but we don't need electronics or mechanical components at this point. So I'm actually going to leave that alone for the time being, and just assign the first buildings to our friends. And that one is going to be just fine. There's a lot more utility buildings that we have to build. I don't even have touched water yet. I haven't touched heat. No, I did touch heat. I've done water, have done power, have done waste, haven't done residential buildings. Yeah, there's a lot more to do. So that just means this is where we're going to start today, and this is also where we're going to end today. We have a couple things done, which is wonderful, but there's so much more to do. We're gonna get there. Yeah, it's gonna get cold outside, so we don't want to get any residents in right now, but stuff has to happen. Thank you so much. Planning will take a while. Hope you enjoy it. See you then. Bye-bye.